All right, tonight's homework is quite the challenge. You have all these diagrams with parallel lines. So the symbol for parallel lines, remember, is a little triangle, and they didn't draw it for us, but I can't with my pen, but two little triangles showing that they're parallel, and then our transversal, okay, fancy math word we learned this week for the line that crosses our two parallel lines, so intersects with those. All right, so we are supposed to identify the relationship between the two given angles. And we've learned a lot of vocabulary words this week, so that makes this a little tricky. But these two angles, you can tell that one is obtuse, right? One is big, and then the other one is an acute angle. So I know they're not congruent, okay? Which obviously means they're going to be supplementary. But let's talk more about the relationship name. They're on the same side of the transversal, okay? So that's where the same side comes in. And they're both inside of the parallel lines. And interior means inside, like painting interior paint, inside. So not a real great name, I don't think, but they are on the same side and they are inside. So that's the relationship name. Let's talk about the supplementary piece now. When we see supplementary, we should always think 180. But when I look in this diagram, it shows that they're not even touching. So something that helps me, since this obtuse angle is corresponding with this obtuse angle, and I know they're congruent because the lines are parallel, I'm going to write that 138 plus x right there. Okay, so now I can see that if I add those two angles together, I'm going to get my 180. All right, so that's going to help me write my equation here down at the bottom. So my equation, I know, is going to equal the 180. So I'm going to take 138 plus x plus the 58 plus x. All right, so let's combine our like terms. I have two x terms. And then I have a positive 138 and a positive 58. So if I add those together, whoa, I didn't mean for that to happen. I get 196, so plus 196 equals 180. All right, clues and undos is going down, and we're going negative, kids, because I'm taking away 196 from 180. Doesn't work well. So I'm going to mark down a negative 16 equaling our 2x that we haven't used yet. And last but not least, we need to divide by positive 2. So negative 8 is our solution. Okay, so when we grade this, you're going to get a point here for same side interior, a point for supplementary, a point for solving out your equation, and a point for negative 8. If you have any desire to check your solutions, you could always put in a negative 8 for x, a negative 8 for x, and then see if it does equal 180. Okay, more homework help. I'd like to help you with 22. This is a little bit different question since the relationship is different. These two angles are in the same position. They're both above the parallel line and on the right side of the transversal. So since they're in the same position, we call them corresponding angles. So that's the relationship. So they're not supplementary. Corresponding angles are always going to be congruent when those lines are parallel. Okay? So corresponding and congruent means my equation is going to be different. I'm going to say that they are equal. So 13x plus 3 equals my 14x minus 6. Okay, so I have two different angles that I'm going to put equal to each other. And these are always fun to solve because I have to get those variables together. Okay, so 0 out the 13x, leaving me with one lonely x, but saves me a step here on the end. Add 6 to both sides, and 9 equals x. So it ended up being a pretty quick equation to find our solution of 9. And I think we're done with that one. So x equals 9. The equation, set them equal to each other when they're congruent, and write down corresponding.